amounts of data, organize these data, compare against digital twins. It's extraordinary, extraordinary technology. But really, it's when this extraordinary technology is applied to a practical use case is when it becomes incredibly valuable. It's when that thermostat is tied to that AI ML platform that it's transformed. And it truly becomes something more than that sensor and the controller. And it becomes a node in a smart building or a smart city. And its value is multiplied. I see 5G in the same way, in that 5G is this incredible technology. It's the ability to gather enormous amounts of data and move it quickly, to be able to connect thousands or millions of devices at the same time and guarantee a quality of service, quality of experience, do it securely and flexibly. I love it. And honestly, if I was a better engineer, I'd probably be in a lab someplace working on it. But instead, I talk to customers. And as I talk to the customers, I'm impressed that how true it is that customers don't buy the underlying technology. They buy the technology's application, and they buy the solution. And I'm sure this is the case in every industry and across every market segment, but it is certainly, and it is particularly true in the industry and the defense markets where I spend most of my time. And the leaders in these industries, and by industry I'm talking about oil and gas and warehouses, logistics, flight lines, and Air Force bases, and military facilities. The leaders in these sectors are incredibly practical. And they need to see a return on their investment for any bit of infrastructure that they build. And so if they're going to be building and installing a private 5G network, there needs to be a reason for them to do it. A warehouse leader may not be so interested in a press release from having developed and deployed a new 5G proof of concept. Instead, it needs to see an actual return on that investment and the efficiency gain. And it's the same story in the defense market. A military commander needs to see an actual operational result. I spend most of my time talking to military folks, and there's some incredibly visionary leaders. There are program offices whose entire goal is to bring the top technology from industry and bring it in and operationalize it. And it's possible to fund a proof of concept, to go and build something. But that proof of concept must be aimed toward scaling toward production. It needs to actually be able to be deliverable and be operationally useful. And so ultimately, this extraordinary technology has to be practical. Now, this isn't intended to be like an architecture diagram or any sort of comprehensive list of product lines or focus areas for Honeywell. Rather, it's a simple slide that's intended to make a very simple point. And it's that we see this private 5G network as this infrastructure, this foundation that's holding up a variety of practical use cases. And how do we know that these are practical use cases? Because we're already building them, and we're already deploying them. These are already being sold and delivering value to our customers. But like that thermostat, these practical applications can be transformed. They can be taken to that next level with this extraordinary technology that's supporting them. And as we look at how are we going to make this 5G technology practical, one of the things that we initially approached is this idea that we need to be able to deliver something that has value using the technology and the applications that are available now. And one simple way to do that is by having that common infrastructure that's supporting all these multiple use cases. As it may exist right now, asset tracking, for example, track and trace programs may be built on top of a Bluetooth network. The asset performance management might be on LTE or Wi-Fi, certainly worker performance and augmented reality solutions on Wi-Fi. And so bringing all of these various applications together with that one common 5G infrastructure supporting it with a common data fabric. Right there, you're able to increase the security and able to minimize the complexity of the management for the customer and be able to deliver real value. And that's not even before you get into the idea of being able to share data between these different applications or be able to even take advantage of any of the capabilities that this 5G network brings. And one question that people often ask me is, when you talk to these customers, what is that one silver bullet application, the one thing that 5G network can do for them that they can't get anywhere else that's going to justify the cost of that network infrastructure? And it's a difficult question to answer. And not because there isn't that incredible use case. You know, if I were to guess, I think it's going to be location-based services. I think the ability to precisely position something is that right there is going to be enough to justify any investment in building that network. But many of those capabilities aren't available today. And so as an industry, as a practical company, we're faced with the choice of how do we sell this and make this practical using the applications that are available today. And one of the ways that we can do this is by looking at these applications in the aggregate. So instead of having a single application and try to justify all that investment on that very expensive 5G network infrastructure, how about we bring multiple applications in all at the same time and tie them together? And then that investment begins to make a little bit more sense, and you start having like a very reasonable value proposition. And then you're not discussing it as an individual application, except, and now you're approaching this as building a digital depot, that connected warehouse, or the flight line of the future. It's a major move in the defense industry. Is how do you tie all these things together, and how do you have that one infrastructure that's supporting all these applications that are done today? And raising the value proposition by discussing the benefit is half of this equation. The other half is the cost. When the competition with these very practical customers is Wi-Fi. And Wi-Fi doesn't deliver all of the capability that cellular does. They were missing out on their mobility. They don't have the security. They don't have the stability. But if an access point on the 5G side might cost $10,000 and a Wi-Fi router is some fraction of that, we have to really discuss what the value proposition is on the upside. And so it's really important for us to ensure that as we're building and developing these solutions, that we get these costs of the 5G network down as much as we can. And this is particularly true on the device side as well. The IoT standards for the reduced capability, that one's going to be huge. The minute we can have a $3 sensor hooked up to a cheap modem, and it's not a $3 sensor hooked up to a $300 modem, we can really make this value proposition make sense. And we can go ahead and bring these solutions out to our customers, both in industry and defense. You know, I like the tagline of "the future is what we make it," in large part because I feel like everyone here in this room and in this industry has been building this future for years. And now we're really at the cusp of being able to bring this thing into reality. These capabilities are available now, and we can actually have a compelling, practical deployment for these private cellular networks now, and using the applications that we already have that we can build. And so as we're looking at bringing out those moonshot, those wonderful applications that only 5G can do, I think what we're going to find is that's coming, absolutely coming. But if we can get a future, in a very near future, where you have private 5G networks in every warehouse, every factory, every Air Force base, every Army facility in the world, those outstandingly compelling use cases will start emerging. And not from POC, but they will be existent actually out there in production. That's the future that I like, and catch me in the hallway and let's talk about it. That's it. Thanks.
Welcome, MrinAlini Lakshminarayanan, Global Executive Director, Ingram Micro.
Hello. It's so great to be here in the Qualcomm 5G conference. And I'm going to talk about how Ingram Micro has taken private 5G and implemented it in our warehouse. Let's start from this video here.
Throughout our global network of hundreds of warehouses and service centers, Ingram Micro is accelerating our work relative to network optimization while investing in automation solutions and supply chain systems to enable our teams to keep pace with a rapidly changing business environment. With omni-channel sales, especially direct-to-consumer e-commerce volume steadily increasing, our end-to-end supply chain capabilities must continue to evolve to deliver the best possible customer experience. Customer expectations are more demanding than ever. Studies show that 45% of e-commerce customers abandon their shopping cart before completing their orders if they can't get the delivery date they need. And 25% don't complete their purchase if unexpected shipping charges are applied at checkout.
Our advanced logistics centers were originally designed with our customer stores and hubs in mind. We are now designed to execute around where our customers are. The goal is to offer just-in-time delivery experience with lower freight costs, regardless of whether it's an online, in-store, or mobile order. We're trying to achieve order fulfillment within 1 hour. 88% of the orders are delivered next day, and 98% within 2 days.
Our new state-of-the-art ALC is comprised of 185,000 square feet of optimized cube design that leverages the use of vertical space, very narrow aisle design, advanced carton cubing functionality, advanced robotics, as well as a completely new warehouse management system. The cost to handle e-commerce orders in general is 4 times more costly than non-e-commerce orders. As a result, our investment in next-gen technologies, as well as a smart design, is allowing us to scale without the incremental costs normally associated with e-commerce fulfillment.
With e-commerce steadily growing, Ingram Micro will continue to push the envelope in how we can serve our customers faster, cheaper, and with a higher level of quality than ever before.
Ingram Micro is the business behind many brands who are here on the stage today. We ship over 1.5 billion units a year. Our net sales is $54.5 billion, and we operate in 61 countries. Our goal is to provide complete full circular economy through lifecycle services for our partners, which includes advanced solutions, many specialty solutions, cloud, and newer technologies like IoT, AI. We support almost 170,000 customers, which includes system integrators, managed service providers, small and medium-sized businesses, telcos, VARs, and more. In order to bring new technologies to market, we have 8 centers of excellences around the globe. And we adopt new technology to help our partners through the center of excellences to drive channel and market adoption. It's not only about the technology. We also keep monitoring what is happening in the industry. And industrial and smart warehouses are significantly transforming in the last few years. Ingram Micro has been adapting with new technology to serve the needs of our market. So smart warehouse. Smart warehouse is near and dear to what Ingram Micro is. Globally, smart warehouses are going to grow significantly over the next few years to $46.15 billion. Ingram Micro has about 11.9 million square feet of warehouses, over 188 life cycle centers globally. So obviously, making them efficient by using emerging technologies is very critical for our own operations so that we can serve our customers better. So why 5G? We are in the forefront of technology. We are not only trying to adopt new technology for ourselves, we are also trying to help our partners take some of these technologies to market. So in our advanced logistics centers, we go through high and low seasons of shipment. Technology that we have is dynamically deployed, redeployed, relocated to adapt the needs of what is there in the market. And therefore, we need real-time information from the edge, from the floor, and also to be able to send real-time information to the edge. We need to quickly deploy these edge devices and bring it up to scale wherever it is needed. Diversification of the use cases, and you saw that in the video, all the different operations that we have. We have to have the ability to diversify the type of devices that we deploy and also the use cases that we need to solve in our warehouses. We are adopting robotics, IoT, XR, and other technologies as they come available so that we can improve the operations. This is one of the reasons why we have partnered with Qualcomm on 5G to enable the ability to drive the power to the edge in our warehouses. So let's talk about some of those use cases. Package tracking. That seems very simple. But when you saw the smart warehouses, we start off with receiving, stacking, packing, picking, packing, and then shipment. And imagine that going through a warehouse, which is about 800,000 square feet large. So tracking a package across the warehouse is very, very critical for us to know where exactly it is. There are very stringent timelines for the packages to reach the customer. So to track some of these, we actually have controllers, pick controllers, on mobile carts, which traverse the picking areas. We have scanners that are used across receiving as well as in the packing areas. And we use many other edge mobile devices in the shipping areas. So we are using a plethora of devices which are going to enable us to be able to track one order as it goes through. Imagine, in this point of time, we need real-time connectivity. We need the ability to roam across this wide space, and also ensure that we are able to track the package as they get loaded onto the trailer. So package tracking is very critical. It uses a lot of different technologies. And 5G enables us to connect and roam within our warehouse to be able to do that. Instant field support. With the dynamically changing market and timing requirements, we have a dynamically sized associate pool. So as new associates come into the workforce, we need to continuously train them on the processes and the areas. So we see a lot of opportunity to leverage AR, VR technology to train the new associates. But not only that, our associates require a lot of support from our supervisors. And imagine walking hundreds of feet to be able to support multiple associates at the same time. So having an AR/VR technology to click and get support from a supervisor quickly is very critical for us to reduce the wait times in the operations. Video analytics is a very critical technology which has a lot of use cases within a warehouse. High-risk area monitoring is one of those, where we can apply video analytics to reduce the loss of goods in the high-risk areas. We can, at the same time, also use when we have large shipments that happen during high peak seasons, We can also use that to track where the pallets are located in our warehouse because they get packed at different times and the trailers arrive at different times to be loaded. So video analytics has many more use cases, and we would see that evolve as we start implementing some of these solutions. And having the ability to have a high stream video cameras deployed dynamically, be able to get high quality video across to ensure we can implement AI technology to deliver this kind of solution is very, very critical. We have many of these warehouses, more than 50% of the labor is used to walk the warehouse, either for put away or for picking operations. So in the warehouse, it's very, very critical for us to know where the assets are deployed and how they are being leveraged and used, whether it is associates or it is mobile assets that we have that are used for these operations. So real-time visibility into these give us a better understanding of hotspots, interference patterns, and also the distance time travel for any particular operation. That helps us optimize warehouse layout. Robotics and automation is the next generation of how we can accelerate our operations significantly. And some of that you've already seen in terms of our warehouse management systems, that they have actually brought in warehouse systems which can help significantly speed up using automation. But there are still more opportunities for automation. By using unmanned automatic pallet moving equipment, automatic picking using AGVs, robotic decanting operation for put away of newly arrived inventory. All these are newer technologies that are coming out, and we are continuously testing them. The rest of the year, we'll be testing many of these technologies, and they do require higher quality 5G type of networks to help us do that. 5G enables us to get diverse data traffic in the network, quickly onboard these use cases. We've actually tested many of these use cases in just the last 6 months. So quickly onboard devices using eSIMs, provide reliability in roaming large warehouse spaces, and also have the ability to scale more edge use cases as new use cases and market needs evolve. So how do we do this? So we have a lab where we test and validate some of these technologies. We package them and take them to our warehouses for testing. And once we've got them tested, we package these solutions, our market-ready solutions. So it's not only solutions that we build for our own warehouses, we are also packaging them for our own, for our partners to leverage with their customers. We also have something called the Partner Accelerator Program, which can help partners onboard themselves with these two new type of technologies and take it to market. So we are building our partnership with Ingram Micro to drive the promise of IoT by bringing in new use cases, new technologies that we can test and conduct POCs so that we can validate that this works as we take these technologies to our partners. Thank you.
We will now take a short break. Please return in 30 minutes.